Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Casper here. I'm glad that you tuned back in to the channel. Today we're going to look at the daily recap on commodities. We haven't been doing that for ages. It has been mostly uranium for the past 2 weeks, but still the past 2 weeks for uranium has been absolutely amazing. Yesterday specifically was great, to say the least. And we have one chart here today about uranium, but let's dive into it. As always, please follow me on Twitter and YouTube. And yeah, give me that subscription. Highly appreciate it. So, without any further ado, let's have a look-see. Oops. First off here, silver. Um, silver to me is still struggling, but why is that gone right there? Anyways, it's still struggling, but there are some signs because we got above this golden trend line again after we have bounced many times on the green here, and yeah, so staying above that golden trend line is very, very important for the short term, also the long term. And ultimately, we want to take out this bad boy at some point in time. So we are bouncing here, getting a lot of volume in, as you can see, here in July and August. So that is very important. You can see it here again, more specifically on the weekly. Good volume, but still, those are also in some big down weeks as well. So it's not all good. We're still above the 22 area right there, which is nice. And ideally, we want to take out that candle high here at around 23.6 for a reversal pattern right there. Looking good, looking very good. Gold, we have to go to daily. What I'm looking at right now is basically this, quite simple. That's the golden trend line, tagging here, almost tagging here, depending on where you want to make the line, right? We are tagging it, so we can do it like that. Makes more sense maybe. And we also get these lows here or this test there, so that's actually better to do. And we are breaking out of this falling wedge here. As mentioned, I thought this would be an inverted head and shoulders right there, but clearly we went lower, made a lower low, which is actually good. And now we're back above this low here. So as long as we are here, we can gain some momentum, hopefully, and we can grind our way back. But still, patience for gold, patience. This is the dollar. Last time we talked, we were into this. Go to the weekly. We were in here, tagging it there, tagging it there. You can see it all the way across, and now we are reversing down again. Again, we're not out of the woods yet. There are plenty of support for the dollar right here. For instance, if we can get back below there, that would be great. But yeah, let's see. We are in a, as you can see here, a rising channel right there, and these tends to break the downside. And there are some huge resistance right above, and this one specifically is a big one. So so yeah, I think we're in for a pause at least, maybe a drop in the dollar. So yeah, let's go to the rates on the weekly. What could be a long-term double top right here, double top. This is the weekly chart. I think we'll pause here. I don't think we'll snap right through. Again, rates, I think if we get above this 4.3, then rates will get out of control. I really do think that this is a big one, but I also don't think we'll break through right away. Again, difficult to say in these conditions, but yeah, let's follow it. I can see that today we are reversing quite a bit, and you could argue that we have some sort of right there. You can see the rising wedge is coming up here, so we are in for possibly a touch here at the lower side of the wedge, then maybe going lower into September. Again, that would also, if we do that, then the dollar will drop as well, and gold and silver should have some tailwind. The U.S. This is not the U.S. This is oil, USD WTI. Again, a bit of a fake out here above the 83. What I'm looking at now is this inverted head and shoulders, and the target is down here at around 76, 75-ish in that area. So we could be, if this triggers, then we could be in for a full retest down here. It's a $6 drop, so we get actually quite lower. But yeah, I think it would be healthy to get a detour first before we go higher. It's a then we can leave this long-term base right there. Also, the inverted head and shoulders will be perfect. So I think oil is in the short term in for some downturn, in for some bearish views, but still long term, I think we are going way higher, way higher than we are today. So so yeah, that's oil for you. The good old, there it is, the good old palladium. Still, this takes time, but if we break to the upside, then you have a falling wedge break, which is a 2-year long break. And we are still at the long-term resistance. You have it right there. You can see the golden, right? So it makes sense to bounce here, right in this vicinity. And yeah, I think when we break, we will go as high as 1550 quite quickly, and then we will see what happens. Again, could be some sort of inverted head and shoulders. We don't know. We do not know, but still, this one usually results to the upside. Palladium here. If we don't break to the upside and we snap down below this long-term golden trend line there, then we're in for a lot of more downside, as you can see here. Then we will go sub 1,000 quite easily. But still, this one has the highest probability of going up to the upside. Platinum is fighting for its dear life here at the $900 level. Still holding the green. Bit of a fake down here, but we are above again. So as long as we are above the 900s and also this green uptrending support, then we are good. But yeah, this is very on thin ice right now. But hopefully we can gain some momentum. The $900 level, as you can see here, is a major one, and we need to hold. We need to hold. Nat gas here. Nat gas. Oh, excuse me, this is copper. Bit of a fake down here below this one. I was very worried when I saw that first off, but now we're actually bouncing quite nicely. Still, if this is a fake down to the downside and we scoop all the way up and getting above 4 again, then copper is in for a massive run. Again, whatever happens here, we don't know. So just wait for it. This is a big triangle apex that we are heading into. And yeah, as you can see, the green one here and the lower one, very important squeeze that we are heading into. So let's see that in a week or two. I think maybe a month, but it depends what happens here. So here we have it, nat gas, good old nat gas. Again, this is the blue one is our main horizontal level here at around 3, and currently we are in a bear flag still. So depending if it resolves the downside, we can go a lot lower. If you can grind up and get above the blue neckline here, then we are in for some more upside. I think if you look at, let's just take quickly didn't I get that word in here? There, let's just do this, the European nat gas, the TTF Dutch nat gas. Long-term support all the way across, and we have broken this trend line here. Again, if we can take out the 43, 44, 40, this zone right here, then this one is going, this is a W, right? Then this is going to go to, 55 more or less, quite easily. And then, of course, the nat gas in the US, I think, will follow and not drop down. So this is a very bullish pattern here. If we can get above the 30, excuse me, the 43, the 43. And now my favorite of all time. We have covered uranium a lot lately, so you have seen this chart many times before. This is the URNM, and this is a very bullish breakout. Getting above that high there, and And now the path of least resistance is definitely to the upside. How to play this, in my view, again, if it is a fake out, then you know the level here to me is around 36, give or take. If we get below that again, then we might have a detour, and then it will be postponed a bit. But to me, this one breaking out here begs to reach this high here again at around 52. The measured move for this bad boy is, if I can find the correct buttons, somewhere around here. It's actually a lot higher. This is log scale, so this is the ultimate goal. I know it sounds insane, but this is the 100% measured move on a log scale, so just below 200s. Will it happen? I don't know. I'll gladly take this fib here, but as you can see here, the uranium market can move quite quickly in both directions. So let's see. Uranium really is the place to be. It really is. Okay, here we have the energy sector overall, which tracks oil and gas mostly. We're still bullish above this one here. We have an internal zone here, quite nice. We got above the blue here, which is very important to stay above in the short term. But once we break this one here at around 93-ish, then we are in for much higher energy prices or companies within. So XLE long term, as long as we are above these two bad boys here, it's all fine and dandy. OYH, long term, we know we broke this one here all the way down. We have this red zone here, which I'm looking at. And we're still above, sitting above, right here, right there. We are sitting quite nicely. So the daily is resetting on the RSI, which is also what we want to see. And if we can hold here and not plunge through, then it will just be a pause before we are going higher. It's quite that simple, in my view. TAN is looking, to my surprise, actually, very, very bad. I really, really thought that this, to me, inverted head and shoulders all the way across. And this breakdown here has a last stand right about now, right here. This one needs to hold at around 55. I really thought that this squeeze here was going to resolve to the upside, especially when you have this, this coiling here in a bull flag. I mean, it's very rare that you see such a big drop here. So again, last dance is this level. Otherwise, we are going in for a third lower low at some point, maybe around 40, depending on how low we go. But then again, then we have the three spikes low, and then we maybe can resume to the upside. But I didn't expect this at all, to be honest. Lithium, I went long here and got stopped out right here. I really thought this was the go. It wasn't, but we now actually have a third lower low if this is the low. I don't know, it could go lower, but we have the three impulse lower lows now already. So if we spike back above here now, above the 58, then that's actually quite bullish, to be honest. But then again, we have to get out of these levels here. But this is looking long term. You can see the bullish pattern here. Large pole flag. So this at some point will start to go to the upside. No doubt about it, in my view. But I think this one, as mentioned, has a lot of Tesla and so on in, and it had some bad weeks until now. Banking looking terrible as long as we are below this bad boy here. This was a bearish pen and squeeze there. Now we're in a bear flag, excuse me. And if we take out this white horizontal, which goes back to 2008, then it's game over. Not game over, sounds dramatically, but then the banks are in for a rough patch. That is for sure. This was a fake out, which we talked about, and now we're curling back down again. So banking, be very careful. Be very, very careful. XOP looks absolutely amazing. Again, look at this one here. Long-term inverted head and shoulders in the making. That's what I see. And zooming in for you guys. This is the main focus here, the bull flag here, the bullish pennant. This was an internal right here. Right there was an internal break. And once we broke, we basically ripped it to the upside. Let me remove some of the more on the smaller stuff. And we went all the way up to that trend line here, which we talked about was the path of least resistance. So very nice. I do expect that we are in for a small pullback here before we can actually have a go and have a fourth touch, and then we go. Looking at the daily, it's holding up quite nicely, but still RSI high and so on. But let's follow that one for the next week or two. Also, if oil is going down like $8, $6, whatever it is, then this will also take a small hit, and then we will probably go higher as oil reassume its uptrend. Nvidia is a difficult beast. Look at this one here. Again, this is not something that I see every day. We have a bearish pennant to the upside. We broke down into a bull flag, which then broke down, and then for some insane reason, we just back above the bull flag, and now the path of least resistance is up. To my surprise, and you can see we are at the highs here. It's just amazing that what this stock can do, really. Again, ultimately, this gap will get filled. That's where I'm waiting for maybe an entry in the AI sector. But again, it can go up way longer than we expected to do. The Brazilian market is having a fantastic setup here long term. Whoa, let me zoom up for you guys. We have some false starts here and one here, but still again, we will this. Oh, let me zoom in. Might be better. Might be a bit better. So we are making a high here, and then I'm thinking we're making a low here within this, right there, and then we will have a go. I mean, the Brazilian ETF or the emerging markets are very inverse the dollar, and if the dollar is coming in for a drop here, then this one will curl up to the upside. This is a beautiful short long term. Pays 8% dividend, I think 9% now. So stunning, 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 stunning. Okay, let's see how it goes. And remember, uranium is amazing at the moment. Amazing. Have a great day, guys, and hopefully subscribe, join, give me the comments below. Highly appreciate it. Cheers.